Hello, and welcome back to Storytime for Home Time with me, James Mayhew. And today it's part 2 of the Russian story of the tale of Prince Ivan, the Grey Wolf, and the Firebird. Yesterday, you might remember, there was a young prince, the youngest of 3, who went on a quest to capture the Firebird for his father. His father, a king, wanted the Firebird in a golden cage to make him the richest king in the world. On the way, Ivan met a friendly grey wolf who helped him by magic to reach a faraway land where there lived a terrible wizard. Here he captured the Firebird, but the Firebird begged for freedom and in exchange gave Ivan a magic feather. But Ivan has met a beautiful princess, one of 13, held captive by this terrible wizard, and her name is Helena, the Princess of Inexhaustible Loveliness. And of course Ivan has fallen in love with her. But now the wizard has seen Ivan and he has captured him, and he has used magic to tie him up, and he's now going to turn him into stone. As the wizard began to mutter his magic words that would turn Ivan to stone, Ivan remembered the magic feather that the Firebird had given him. She promised that if he waved it in the air 3 times, that she would come and help him. And so Ivan waved it in the air 3 times. Suddenly the sky got brighter and brighter, and there appeared the Firebird. And she flew down, and she saw Ivan was in such trouble that she began to sing. And she sang such beautiful and sweet music that everybody began to fall asleep. The wizard, all his spies, demons and goblins who worked for him, the princesses, all 13 of them, they all fell asleep. Only Ivan and the Firebird stayed awake. The Firebird said, "You must search the garden, for somewhere there grows an old oak tree, and in the roots of the oak tree you will find a box. And in the box, an egg. This egg contains the wizard's power, and it must be smashed. If you can smash the egg, destroy the wizard's power, then you can defeat him." And the Firebird then said, "I can help you no more this time." And she stopped singing, and she flew off. Ivan ran. He ran as fast as he could through the garden, and searched, and sure enough, there he found the old oak tree. But of course, now the Firebird had stopped singing, everybody woke up, and the wizard, Cashier the Deathless, came running after Ivan. When the wizard saw Ivan, he was opening the box and taking out the egg. And the wizard cried out and said, "No, no, you mustn't touch that egg. Put it down, please. I'll give you anything. I'll give you anything you ask for. I'll give you gold and treasure. I'll set the princesses free. Just give me back that egg." But Ivan didn't trust the wizard. He didn't trust him at all. And so he threw the egg to the ground, and it smashed like glass, splintering into 1,000 pieces. Suddenly, the whole kingdom vanished. The garden, the palace, they all disappeared. The rocks on the ground began to turn back into heroes and knights in armour, those who had once tried to rescue the princess, but had failed. They were very grateful to Ivan for setting them free. And so, of course, were the 13 princesses, and none more so than Helena, the Princess of Inexhaustible Loveliness. Ivan took her by the hand and led her out into the forest, where the grey wolf was still patiently waiting. Well, he was ever so pleased with the way things had turned out. Ivan and the princess jumped upon his back, and off they flew up into the sky, galloping, 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 across the thrice 9 realms, over the mountains and forests and palaces and cities of Russia. In no time at all, they had reached the forest where the grey wolf had first eaten Ivan's horse. And here he gently put Ivan upon the ground and the princess, and said to them, "There, young prince, I think now I've paid back my debt for eating your horse." And Ivan said, "Yes, I should jolly well think you have after all that." And he hugged the grey wolf goodbye. And then he and the princess began the long walk back to his father's palace. It took many, many days without a horse, but in time they arrived, and they found the king was in a terrible mood. "Where have you been?" he said. "I've been waiting for you. Your brothers came back a long time ago." "Mind you, they didn't find the Firebird. I hope you had more luck." "Well, yes, I did," said Ivan. "As a matter of fact, I did find the Firebird." "Good," said the king. "I have a golden cage ready. Where is she?" "Well, the trouble is," said Ivan, "I promised the Firebird that I would set her free." "You what?" said the king. "Are you telling me that twice you've lost the Firebird?" "Well, I think you're a bigger fool than your brothers." His brothers, Dmitri and Fyodor, began to laugh, and they said, "Oh, father, you don't really believe him, do you? Of course he didn't really find the Firebird. He's been lying." "I hope not," said the king. "If there's one thing I can't stand, it is lying." "I'm not lying," said Ivan. "It's all true. I can prove it. Look." And he pulled the feather from his hat, and the Firebird appeared, filling his father's palace with golden light. The king jumped to his feet, pointing. "Oh, look, look," he said. "Look how beautiful she is. Quick, guards, capture her." Oh, no, you mustn't do that," said Ivan. "You can't put her in a cage. If you put her in a cage, then—" Well, the king didn't listen. The Firebird was captured by the guards, and into the golden cage she went. The door was locked, and the king stood there and said, "There, now, look, you see? Now I'm the richest king in all the world." When he looked again, he saw the Firebird had laid down. She closed her eyes, her feathers turned grey, and she died. "What's happened to my Firebird?" said the king. Ivan explained that by putting the Firebird into the cage, he had killed her. The king felt just terrible about this. "Is there nothing we can do?" he said. "I don't think there is," said Ivan. The king sorrowfully said, "Well, I suppose the least we can do is give the Firebird a proper funeral." So that night they built a great big fire, and into the flames they gently put the Firebird's body. And they all stood and watched as the feathers burned away. But then, when the last feather had burned, suddenly, in the ashes, the princess saw something. "Look," she said. They all saw the same thing. It was a golden egg. And the egg began to hatch. And what do you think flew out? Not a baby Firebird. Yes, you're right. It was the same Firebird, and she flew out bigger and brighter and more beautiful than ever. And the king was so grateful to her for saving Ivan, from the terrible wizard, that he forgave her for eating all those golden apples. In fact, the king said the Firebird could eat as many golden apples as she liked. And so she did. The Firebird came and went from the garden at will, and she ate lots and lots of golden apples. But she always saved the pips, which are like seeds, and she dropped these into the ground, where they grew and grew and grew, until one day the king discovered that in his garden he didn't have just one golden apple tree. No, in his garden he had ended up with a whole orchard full of golden apple trees. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story, and if you would like a chance to win this picture of the Firebird, all you have to do is to make some art yourself. So draw maybe a Firebird or perhaps the Grey Wolf or any character from the story, and post it to me on social media, Facebook or Twitter, and I'll choose the one I like the best and send this to you in the post to say well done. And now it's time to say proshai, that's the Russian for goodbye. Thank you for watching Storytime for Home Time, and I'll see you next time.